welcome back, or welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for checking me out if you're new here. As you can tell, we're talking about how to develop time, how to maintain it, how to work on it. So I'm thinking there's really kind of three or four fundamentals, in my opinion, and three of these really aren't based off of a metronome. And these beliefs might ruffle some feathers, but you gotta break a couple eggs to make an omelet. So obviously it goes without saying, practice to a metronome. You need to practice to a metronome, and you need to be able to then subdivide within that time. So you're looking at, you can do quarter notes at this specific BPM, call it 110. But then can you do eighth notes in that? Can you then do 16ths? Can you do 30 seconds? Can you do 64ths? Obviously those last two, or definitely that last one, a little bit more uncommon, but nonetheless, these are things that should be worked on, if not at least explored. But yeah, can you subdivide within that tempo, and can you maintain that consistently? So obviously working with a BPM metronome, with a BPM metronome, working with a metronome, you know where I'm going with this. But the other two or three, I would say, are going to be a bit less common, but that's practicing to an instrumental piece, like a walking bass line. When I studied with Bob, for those 3 years, none of what we did was to a metronome of, none of it was to that. It was all to a bass line, a walking bass line for jazz. So that would have been done to a metronome. I'm sure the person doing the bass would have, the bass, that's like a little bassoon. They would have played to a metronome, no doubt. But then I'm playing to that person, so then I'm getting a different feel for it because I'm playing to their interpretation of time, if you see what I mean. So this comes down to a pretty nerdy science, but everybody's time fingerprint is going to be different. Some people feel the beat a little bit ahead, some people feel the beat a little bit behind, some people feel it right on, some people feel it swung, some people feel it straight. And that's not to say that they don't feel it in all those ways, that they can't feel it in all those ways, but they're going to have a built-in system where they fundamentally view and feel time in this one particular way, or a collection of those ways, but that's going to be unique to them. So that bass player, don't know who it was, but that person interpreted time in a specific way, and so I picked up on that subconsciously. I would have been having to play to what his perception of time was. And so that strengthens your ability to play in time. That strengthens your meter, because you're learning a different way to approach time. You know, if I naturally felt it rushed and he was a laid back player, that's going to help build me up to be able to play in different styles or different situations. Because believe me, people can ask, and I've been asked, can you play that a bit ahead of the beat? Can you play that a little bit behind the beat? And if you don't have that BPM ingrained in you, if you don't have that versatility, if you will, it's going to become very difficult. And the other thing was, the MD from Usher was giving Aaron Spears some tips, from what Aaron Spears has said, obviously. Please correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is what I heard him say, which was, the MD said, if you want to improve your time, play along to Billie Jean, and then play it another time, and then play it another time, and then play it 50 times. Like, if I had a subscriber for every time I played Billie Jean, I'd have 618 subscribers, and I'd be feeling really cool about myself, because to me that's a big number. But there you go. So I would strongly say play Billie Jean, because that is nothing more than a straight ahead beat. And what's his name? Was it Jackson Sugarfoot Moffat, or Joseph Sugarfoot Moffat? Please, obviously, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but he just lays it down like nobody's business, and he's right there. That in its sense is very metronomic, but that is a great thing to play to get your meter built up. So really, I'm talking about those three things. I'd say the fourth way that you could do it is to play with people. Just play with people. And this is going to be a bit of a controversial opinion, but if you start a song at 110 BPM but everybody finishes at 115, have you not stayed in time? Would you not have stayed in time? You would have been out of time if you stayed at 110 and they went to 115. You would have been puritanically staying at 110 start and end, but they would have gone up to 115. And then, I'm not saying that's, you can, there's a big debate there, but the song might be designed where it takes off a bit at the end and everybody gets a bit faster. That is a thing. It could be that everybody's just vibing like nobody's business and it lifts a bit, and that's fine. Or it comes back down a bit. But you need to have that ability to move with it, so that if everybody goes, that you go with them and you don't just stay there and all you know is how to just stay robotically in time, because that's going to mess things up and that's not going to work well. That won't translate. You obviously need to be able to start at 110 and end at 110 for radio and for sessions. But there's got to be that fluidity where if people go and that's what it's okay for and that's what the song requires, or that's what you've all discussed, that you can go with that. So yeah, those are some helpful tips, hopefully. But we'll close it there. This is a 6-minute video. Don't want to go on anymore, but yeah, you're looking at practice to a metronome in varying subdivisions. Play along to either a walking bass line or a bass line of any description, or an instrumental piece. Play Billie Jean like it's your business. Play Billie Jean like it's going out of style, and play with people. And move around a bit, move through time, be able to navigate it. So there you go. Hopefully that helps, and I'll catch you in the next video.